For tonight. Thanks, Sue. Okay, can you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our meetings that we have tonight. We have a water sewer commissioners meeting first before the select board meeting. There's a sign-in sheet there if anybody hasn't signed in. I'm going to be trying to be the chairman. Our chairman, Lee Gustafson, is ill at home with a bad cold. And we have another member, Tim Roper, who's a member of the board, and he's online with us. And we'll try to get through all this. First thing on the water sewer commissioners meeting agenda is citizens' comments. If there was someone here that would like to address the water sewer commissioners with an item that is not on the agenda, now would be the time to do so. Are there any citizens' comments? I'm looking at you, Bill. Oh, there's a few online too. Hearing no comments, we'll go straight to the water budget. Everybody should have gotten the most updated one the last couple of days. And Julie, can you take us through this final budget for the water department?
I can. There is not a whole lot that has changed. Water department, we made one quick adjustment today under well repair. You'll see I increased well repair. Jeff has an issue with one of the pumps for the well. He's having to bring in a crane to pull it. Something with one of the gaskets in there. So we did add money for that just because we knew about it and we knew ahead of time. And then on sewer, the one thing he had forgotten to add was line flushing. This is the year that we'll be flushing the sewer lines. So 4,000 was added to the line flushing. Again, something he remembered, we still had time, so added. Those are the only changes from the first time that you saw this budget.
Where's the well thing on the water?
The well thing is on the water budget on the second page is the very first item on the second.
Oh, okay,
page.
well repaired, yeah.
Yeah, we added 5,000 to that line.
Any questions from anybody?
Still looking at 1 second.
Tim, do you hear us out there? Are you on board with us?
I hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Great.
Must be wrong there.
Must be William next.
Julie, we're projecting $60,000 more in water fees. I'm assuming that's based on the rate adjustment.
That will be adjustments throughout the year. And those will be coming to you at your first meeting in February to relook at and to actually formally approve. But yes, we need to get caught up in water. One more year, we will be projecting, or we will be filling a positive in water.
So once those rate increases go up, we should be pretty much where we want to be as far as they are, because I know it's been a long process.
It has been a long process, yeah. The other thing that's going to be happening is the February billing will be the second full billing with the new meters. So once we have that data will go to Ashley Lucht, the lady where we got the free grant, that she's going to help take that and help us build, kind of reevaluate our rate structure. Are we billing the right way? At that point, are we billing what we need? Are we billing more than we need? And helping us develop a capital plan for those two departments. So the second full billing with the new meters will allow us to do that. So that'll be February. So that'll stuff will be going to Ashley probably early March.
And then we've added, we talked about this at some point, I don't remember when we did it, but changed the way we calculate the administrative offset.
It's a percentage.
It's now a percentage. Has it always been a percentage?
Yes, when we added it last year, it was a percentage.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, I have no problem.
I only had one more question, and
Yep.
that was that the utilities cost appears to have gone up in a way that might, is there a reason why the utilities expense in the water budget?
Do you
What
mean,
line you on?
do you mean what we expended in 25?
Yeah,
Well,
Oh, I see.
what we
Yeah.
expended in 25 was west.
95 actual is 34,000.
Yeah, my guess is there's something there, Ariana.
There was if something happened that we had.
Yeah,
to pay for.
I can get data on that.
If you don't have it,
There is no reason why it would up $10,000 that I can think of.
and then we're budgeting back down at the previous rate.
Correct, so, right, I think there's maybe something posted there, Ariana, that was misposted.
That's great.
I will double check.
Did they get any data at all from the first full reading with the water, with the new meters and stuff? Did it
Yeah.
show any trend that it was, we're underbilling or overbilling or anything?
No, we can't really tell from one cycle. I can tell you what we have found already is we have had a lot of water users who have called in and said, I've got, my app is showing something weird. So we've caught a lot of water leaking.
And how many would
So
you,
that's been beneficial.
that's great. When you get those calls, how many of them are are app failures? And how many of them are actual leaks? Has it?
They're usually like there's usually a toilet run. People have toilet runnings and they don't understand that's actually happening.
That adds up pretty
A
quick.
lot.
And it's all after the meter. That's,
Correct.
the app is only gonna catch that. It'll probably be underbilling.
I think probably it will all end up being neutral at the time, but
If there's no other questions, do we need a motion to
motion.
accept the amount?
to adopt the budget.
We adopt the budget as presented.
Move to adopt the Water Department 2026 budget for the municipality of Chester as presented at this evening.
Second.
Ariana's a motion, Peter's a second. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor of approving the water department budget, please say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? That's it with that. And the sewer budget, same idea. We can entertain a motion to approve the sewer department 2026 budget as presented.
So moved.
Second,
Peter's the motion, Ariana's the second. Any questions, discussion on? All those in favor of approving the budget as presented, please say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All set with that. Would entertain at this time, a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn the Water and Sewer Commissioners meeting.
Ariana's the motion, Peter's the second. All those in favor of adjourning our water sewer commissioners meeting, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nope.
So we'll go on to our special select board meeting, and the only reason it's a special select board meeting because it's starting a little late. First item on the agenda for our select board meeting is to approve our minutes of January 7th, 2026. We have a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes from January 7th.
Anybody have any?
Second.
Ariana's the motion, Peter's the second. Anybody have any changes, corrections, errors, omissions, anything on the minute?
I had one thing. Let me
Tim,
get my screens right here. Hold on a second. I'm shuffling. Sorry. On page 3, line 23. I'm pretty sure it should be Lane Millington, not Millionton. It's just a typo there. And that's all I had.
Anybody else have anything? Good.
Move to approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
Ariana's the motion, Peter's the second. All those in favor of approving the minutes with the one change, the one correction, please say aye.
Aye.
Are you opposed? Next item is citizens' comments. If there is somebody here that would like to speak to the board regarding an issue that is not on the agenda, now would be the time to do so. Any citizens comment? I thought that was a hand, but it looks like it's part of the logo in the middle there. Stop it, TV. And we'll go on to old business. Julie, can you take us through our old business?
I can, not a ton. I've been working on budgets, but, I will update you the solar field purchase is moving forward, target closing of January 30th. So it's coming up, and right now we are on track for that closing. Bailey Hill Road, we heard from the family of Paul Bidgood. They have indicated that they are not interested in pursuing responses to Paul's last letter of February 5th. So Jim will be finalizing his response to the board. He will also, I've asked him to also give guidance on the best way to clarify what is in the land records. I know Peter wanted some mapping stuff for the land records, so to clarify some things. So we'll have a conversation about, what we can give to make sure that this is clear in the land records as well. And then today we had a bid opening for contract 2 and 3 of the sewer project, contract 2 being the pump station, contract 3 being the gravity main. Contract 2, apparent low bid. Again, bids have to be evaluated, but I will say we got 8 bidders for both, which was great. Contract 2 came in at 680, which is a little bit above engineer estimate. But contract 3 came in lower, which is 715, which is a little lower. I can't release who was the apparent low bidder at this point, but I can tell you that bids came in, they came in favorable. So that's good news. Yeah. So we shouldn't have to borrow more than
When you have like 8 different bidders on it, are they any local? Is it regional?
There are a couple local, there are some locals. We had some from Massachusetts. We had one from Maine, but several locals and several that have done work for us. So that's good. We had good bids. Yeah.
That's a lot. We usually don't get 8 people.
No. But it is the time of year that we bid. This is the time of year to bid.
And out of curiosity, you manage this whole process. So the bids come to you, or is the department head actually managing the process?
No, the engineers manage this. We pay the engineers to manage this.
The process. Correct.
Which is kind of why we're going to be waiting till next year to do the sidewalk bidding at this time.
A little bit, yeah. We have cleared right away, but there's still final design approval that has to be done by the state. It's just, you have to do a piece, and then that department has 30 days, and then you do another piece, and that department has 30 days. So it just depends on when that's finalized. If that's finalized in the next month or 2, we could probably still bid. But if that's not finalized till April or May, you don't want to bid. You don't want to bid that.
Well, the thing that's also happening in that though, is the agency of transportation isn't putting any work out. Those are all people who had bid on agency of transportation work.
Oh, so they're not getting work from the state, so maybe they are more anxious to get work from the municipality. That would make sense.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. That's all I have for old business.
Anybody else have any old business? I had one quick thing. Now that our help in the wintertime is in.
Now that our
Steve and his helper, are they going to be doing up the electric upstairs eventually?
Steve has, now that we have Wayne with him, part-time, Wayne is with Steve. Wayne is with water sewer 2 days and is with Steve 2.5 days. Yes, Steve has a list, and that is, yes. And it's one that I asked them to prioritize. So we had to get the library work done.
Oh, yeah.
While we were zipping up after the sprinkler install. We did new lighting with the MERP grant, so we had to get that wrapped up. We did that in-house. But yes, that's.
What's his list look like?
Yeah. There's a lot.
Well, the town has a lot of buildings.
We have a lot of buildings, and we have
everything.
a lot of stuff that has been delayed, so.
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome.
Next item is Green Mountain Power. They're here to help us with a 2026 review and future projects. In your packet, you got a little map of the Lovers Lane project. That's the big one. I guess that's coming up. It's Tim Jones and Dan Mills, I believe. Don, sorry, Don. Sorry, I couldn't read your. So you gentlemen want to give us an update or give us a,
Again, Tim Jones, from Green Mountain Power. I'm program manager. Thank you to Julie, for getting us on the agenda tonight. And also thank you to Kirby today for making the time to meet up with me and look at the project and just kind of talk through some of, his concerns, feedback generally from him. Don is part of our team. He wears two hats for GMP. He's our operations supervisor out of the Brattleboro district, but he's also a lineman. And so he's our resident expert on constructability of projects. So valuable addition to our team over the last year. We were here last May just to talk in broad strokes about our resiliency rebuild program region. Most of it's been focused on a couple of our circuits in the Townsend, Jamaica area, down in Brattleboro, Halifax areas. But we did promise to come back when we originated a couple of projects here in the Chester area. And the one that we shared right now sort of typifies the undergrounding that has been sort of the hallmark of our resiliency rebuild program over the last two seasons. This program ends September 30th of this year, 2026. So we're well into our program. The example project here on Lover's Lane, we've done about 80 miles of that style of project in the region. I was able to share with Kirby again just some locations where you might, check in with some of his peers or at least get some feedback from some of our other partner towns if you're at all have any other questions outside of just sort of the engineering and our approach here. So I think just means and methods wise for this project, it's probably going to be 90% planned to be underground, buried. I also included just sort of a typical, trench ditch here of what that's going to look like. We use a specialized saw, we're calling it. It's a 400 plus horsepower tractor that drives a 10-foot carbide tip wheel. So we have a typical bury depth of about 48 to 50 inches. So that's the target bury depth for burying our conductor. This project would start just north of the rec fields, or really probably the apron of the pavement there. We clear that last brook, get underground there. And then as you'll see up the road here, we've got the culvert layers turned on as well. So we're calling out impediments in the road, things that we have to manage for. And we had that discussion as well with Kirby today. So pretty much anything that's 24 inches or smaller is something that we would actually trench through and bury our conductor underneath it and replace the entire culvert over the top of it as we restore the road. So the draft agreement that we shared sort of outlines the major tenets of what partner towns have wanted as assurance that their roads are returned as good or a little better when we're done with our project. So certainly this project goes up to about Randall Road. Definitely some tight areas in the road up there, especially in the ledges area. I think was what Kirby called it up by Bailey Mill. So certainly some open water areas that we're going to have to navigate. And typically what we do there is just do one span rise up and rise down on the other side. So we don't need to try and attempt to go under, through, around anything of that size. So I think you say 24 inches or below is typically, our sweet spot. In terms of compliance with whatever back roads permitting that you have, we'll go through this with Kirby, ride it out, document everything that's there, get an assessment of what he's replaced, what he hasn't replaced. If there's a culvert that's X size and we touch it and it needs to be upsized, we'll integrate that all into our program. So we're turnkey completely. We use Buck Adams, who's also probably known to many in town here, as our civil contractor that follows through and restores the roads to pre-existing conditions. So that's sort of our team. And then we have a line company that works alongside with the trenching machine and does all of the tie-ins and electrical termination, energizing work and so forth. So the saw comes in at about maybe 2,000 feet a day, give or take. So on a project of this distance, it'll probably take us maybe a couple of weeks to rough everything in and basically just get everything buried. And then the line contractors and the civil contractor come behind, restore the roads, do all the terminations, hook up everyone's services, do all that energizing work. So it's a great project for us to get some really challenging off-road right away, or off-road line corridor, and bring everything right to the roadside. So obviously the resilience, reliability, safety for our customers, safety for our line crews, not having to go back out and venture into those right of ways when power is out. So this has proven a very effective means of it's the best storm hardening technique that we have is to bury it And then, of course, anything that's left overhead will be also storm hardened to the highest degree that we can, just to make sure that those risks are not too high for things that so that's the scope. We also have two other projects, and one of them is going to be under 1111 permit, which is basically 103 down to Peck Road, and then dipping in and picking up the next project, which will go Cambridge Fort Road, the Fisher Hill, all the way down to 121. So that project will sort of be half in Grafton as well. But we thought we'd start with sort of the big ticket, the most undergrounding, and just basically take the town's feedback here and just work our way towards an agreement. Hopefully, we'd ideally like to do this project starting in May. This is our last season, so we're hoping that we can come to terms with the town on the projects we need to do here and get them put to bed. Yes.
Would this involve closing down Mother Tongue for a period of time?
Good question. So we will have traffic control plan, and we also do a 2-week look ahead schedule with the town. So we rely on our partnership with you to, when we do need to do a full road closure, whatever means of communication you have to sort of blast residents or whatever. Even if we do a lot of door to door as well, but no unannounced road closures. Typically we'd like to give a week or so, but no less than 2 days we encounter something. But we'll go through that when we sort of account for everything we need to do, what the road closure are. Typically it will be open one night. So in the event that we're doing crossroad culverts, we'll take that into account and try and batch that type of work. So people know. We'll start later in the morning if people are getting out. So we'll kind of learn what the sensitivities of the neighborhood. Understand what our latitude is out there.
And as I understand it, you guys are doing this. The permission you need from us is about permitting and working with Kirby, and it's collaborating. But there's no moment where we're talking about how much this costs, and there's no moment where we're talking about who's doing the labor. All we're doing is you're coming to our house and we're making sure everybody gets along while you're here.
Correct. So under the sort of the road right away, or the 19 PSA, regulation, that's sort of where we need your permission to work the road right away.
Working in the town right away.
If
That's
we
what
need
it
any right of ways individually from customers, and we'll work with them all individually as well. We will secure those if they're needed. And it'll also be an opportunity for customers to say, hey, I was always waiting for this day to come, and they want to make an investment to join the line and maybe do some undergrounding of their property. That opportunity will be available as well. But the premise really is just to go right up the road, pick everybody up as they currently are served, and move on. But we certainly can take some side work or work it out if people really want to earnestly change their service.
Are you doing telecommunications at the same time, or all the poles are going to stay?
Great question. So what GMP does, we share with our telecommunications partners. So here's where we're going. We, at our expense, which we sell later, will install one interduct for telecommunications. If any of the other telecommunication partners want their own custom material, they'll come forward with it, and we'll put that in there for them too. So the secondary pole lines typically is going to be honest, it's going to be a couple, 3 years typically before we can, get them to reattach or get under and bury. So we give them the opportunity. At this point, the opportunity would be rough in your material, daylight where you need to, and then we're going to have primacy to get what we need to done, and then they'll basically, the dance floor will be theirs to come in behind us and ground.
Before you close it up?
It will be closed up as we go, so they'll have to pull. Yep, correct. So ours is direct bury, one piece, seamless conductor, going in the ground. So
What I remember, Peter, when you mentioned the telecommunications stuff, GM comes in and they do their thing and wire switch the new poles. And then the telephone and cable hang on this old rotten telephone pole for 10 or 15 years, and it looks like hell. Is there any time frame or time requirement that they have to switch over or do something so we don't end up with a whole bunch of extra poles all over the village?
So what we will do with our pole ownership, since we're primarily the pole owner and we license it, we retire our line, we'll take all the conductor down and essentially top the pole right to the top of it. You've seen it out on Route 11. no secret if you live around here, right? You know, so apologize for that. And, you know, it's a work in progress. I mean, we've gotten out ahead of them pretty well, I think you could say. So that's our work right now, is just meeting with them routinely, showing them where we're going, and just trying to coach them as expeditiously as possible to get in behind us. So we have there's a joint notification system. It's called NJUNS. It's NJUNS. And so once we're done and energized and ready to go, we'll notify whoever's licensed on these poles and say, okay, we're done. You know, the clock is ticking. So we do have an abandonment procedure and so forth. We're trying not to kind of dive into that as much, because then they're going to be pulled over. So we're trying to strike that, you know, chord of come with us in a timely fashion. We'd all like to come.
The people you're talking about are Comcast, Infinity, VTEL. Okay.
Here it's detail at Comcast, and detail, there's a ton of copper still up there, fiber. It's a wonder nobody has
Oh, they never
innocently.
did.
And that's a great point too. The copper's a little bit of a different animal. There's some regulatory to that it has to stay. That ringtone has to stay out there. So navigating that and parsing out, well, that's copper. This is, you know, fiber or some other variant that can go under. So
What happens to the old right of ways that run through the woods, places like that, revert back to the owners?
yeah, we can get them completely abandoned. Yeah, we can quit claim those deeds or those easements back to the landowner.
What you're looking for from the town is just the granting the right of way to do what you have to do and stuff. Do you ever reimburse towns for monetarily for the right of ways or anything? Because you're going to be saving money because of maintenance, access. The towns are going to be maintaining all these roads so you can get to all the equipment and stuff, as opposed to what you're doing now in the woods, which it involves a lot more money and a lot more time, and it's a lot more expensive.
So bigger investment up front, as you can imagine, putting everything underground. And I think our I guess carrot is we're rebuilding the road. Now we're tearing it up. So I'm not trying to tell you that's a benefit to you, but that's sort of the investment that we're making to come in turnkey, go through your road and put it back to your specifications, including top dress, finish grade, like we were never there. So compensation really hasn't been a factor in terms of towns asking for monetary compensation, but certainly you have a town to run as well. So welcome any of the feedback that you have. You know?
We're looking at the budget as we're going through it, and the one line that I always see is like 25,000 that we pay to GM Power for our streetlights. Wouldn't it be nice if, I don't know, I just throwing, I didn't know if that was something that can happen or does happen, whether it's worth even talking about. I don't know. That's why I just brought it up.
We can certainly have the discussion. Don's probably a little bit more in tune with the streetlight since he runs a service center for us.
Yeah, so I can't really give you an answer on the streetlights as far as where we can be something. But I will say that like the work that we've done in the past, towns have definitely benefited from brand new culverts, or even upsizing in certain occasions, plus the finished roadways, the ditch lines, everything's cleaned out. And then, you know, like there's areas where there was money set aside to do all that work, came through. We cut through a bunch of steel culverts, put in brand new plastic. So we're actually saving the town's money in a lot of cases.
So we're getting the roads back probably in better condition than they were.
Yes.
In quite a few situations when you run into an old culvert, or if it's steel or galvanized or whatever, but it doesn't hurt to ask. Because there's no meters on those lights. I know they've gotten more efficient over the years, I would think, to run them and stuff, but 25 grand, 30 grand or whatever it is.
We could go and look. I mean, we have streetlights all through Gassett. You know, it's almost every house has its own streetlight in Gassett.
We'll certainly take it back and, and give you an answer. I mean, you asked, we'll give you an answer.
Yeah, and I guess you've had the conversation about Lover's Lane with Kirby and stuff, but I see on that one section when it gets real narrow between the ledges and the rivers there and it crosses twice, when that road got washed away, it was 6 feet gone, never mind 4 feet. Stuff is that buried in that section or?
It will be so the maps are color coded, so the blue dash line depicts underground. And as you get up into those ledges area, any place you see blue solid depicts where we're gonna rise up and.
Yeah, that's what you said before.
Right,
That's
so-
exactly where you're talking about, Arnie. They didn't have to come up above
We'll
ground.
probably have to, I was looking at it today, and just some of the veg management up, and we'll have to come to just a sensible approach there. We'll probably end up flying that whole thing. There's 2 bridges.
Yeah.
There's really no sense in going up and over and then down for 100 feet and back up. So we'll figure that out. But again, ideally, we'll be able to mitigate whatever other risk is out there by coming to an agreement of getting maybe some trees out of there or.
That's a tough corner.
Yeah.
Because over here, you're underground, you come up, you're underground, you come up, you're underground, you come up, then you're underground, just to make that whole corner through there and so. And that's the part that you probably had that conversation with Kirby. That road was gone. I mean, gone.
And that's a designer, just kind of, again, I think we'll ground truth it when we go out there.
When the wheels stop because you hit all the ledge.
And that's, part of it. He mentioned a couple of areas where he suspected that we might hit some refusal, and we've had very good luck with this machine getting through ledge. So our MO is really, if we see some resistance, we'll send a mini excavator out ahead of it, try and bound, how far. Oh, it's only 200 feet. We're making some movement here.
How many horsepower?
35.
And was it, it's like a big wheel with diamond or?
Yeah, it's a big 10-inch carbide tip wheel, actually. Yeah.
This is fun.
So we don't have our ask tonight really is just consideration, right? I'd love to, this is new business for the town, so if we had done more projects, I'd probably be a little bit more aggressive about trying to get your agreement right now, but certainly we need to see some things under the snow and work with Kirby. But as time goes on here, we'd really like to get the agreement in place, probably by the beginning of April, and that'll help us sort of lock in our playbook.
The only concern I'm wondering about is with this, the timeline that they're looking at, is at the same time we're doing the First Avenue pump station? And are we tearing up multiple parts of the town at the same time? And I don't think there's an answer to that, but I just wonder if that's.
The force main will probably be, but that'll
That'll be a
force
big-
main.
I know it's 2 different places, but if we have major road construction in 2 different places, what is that doing to Kirby? What is that doing to our team?
Should have stood
Neither.
next to it like a redwood tree so you could kind of tell.
There's no scale.
Neither
What's it,
of
10 feet?
those
10 feet,
projects are.
5 and 5 radius.
And it's got a huge sifter box on the back of it too, so it screens the material as it puts it
Comes
back.
out.
Well, that's part of needing to restore the roads too. So any of the unsuitable material that comes up, that we bring up from the depths, it'll get scraped off as we're finishing and so forth. So that's where up to 3 inches of finished gravel coming back in there and making sure that.
One advantage to Lover's Lane, it does go in a big loop. So even if you end up closing it off, there's another way out, a little longer, but it's a nice scenic ride. I was surprised. I remember when you first talked about this project last year or whenever it was, and I saw all the markings. I thought it was all telephone pole. The fact that you're burying it all that's pretty sweet, because it's a scenic road. It's a really nice road to travel on. And you're not going to see, there'll be poles, but it won't be like every.
You'll see cabinets on the ground, and I think, we'll work with Kirby where to place those, using trees as bollards and that type of stuff, things that we've learned over the last couple of years in terms of where we can put them. So on the way up, there's not a lot of customers, so, basically we can go, up to 2,000 feet or just shy of that before we have to come up for air, so to speak. That's sort of the real length of the material that we have.
Anybody
you.
else? Any other questions?
I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Tim.
Hi, this is very interesting. I used to be in pole line construction, so, but my key interest right now is, I think I heard you say that if a customer wanted to have their service buried,
Yeah.
they could work with you to get a cost to do that while you're on this project. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And will you be contacting the customers to let them know they have that option? Or is that something the town should be doing? Because it seems like a good opportunity. I assume there would be some savings to them to do it while you're there. Is that also true?
Correct on both counts. Yes, we will be making individual contact with all our customers.
Terrific. Terrific. Is it something the town could help publicize for you? Because it'd be great to have more, I mean, obviously it's more reliable to have buried lines.
Sure. Yeah, once we get, sort of, I guess, ready to mint the agreement, we can certainly, talk about how we'll go through that process and canvass the neighborhood.
So at this point, Tim, you have anything else?
Yeah, sorry. The other question I have is, that's all going to remain single phase primary going up through there. It's not going to be three-phased.
Correct.
Okay. And then just looking at the prints, this is just me. It looked like there are a lot of coming up for one span, and I don't know, are they crossing the road? Is that ledge you're going around? I know you'd like to avoid some of those if you could. It just looks odd on the prints.
Yeah, we can go back and look at that. I think most of the overheads are, you have quite a few bridges in there. So there's a lot of open water up there. So I would say any place where we see open water, you can count on us having to fly it.
Okay. All right.
Typically, we're into 36 inches or bigger. So that's something that we've avoided, get our setbacks and carry the stream.
And Tim, those areas would be storm hardened as well. That'll be single phase Hendrix going up and over. So
Oh, I see.
steel
Cool.
messenger on the top and then the conductor
Yeah.
underneath. So
Was that 5/16 messenger?
yeah,
3/8?
it's a little bit bigger than that.
3/8? Yeah.
It's closer to 1 inch. Yeah.
Oh, is it really? Wow. That's heavy duty. Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it'd be insulated conductor and then steel messenger across the top. So anything that paints the top of it, it won't short the line out. And then also it's a little bit stronger than actual just regular wire. So it'll just,
Sounds like it's stronger than the trees that are gonna fall
a
on
lot
it.
of times it is.
It's a good
It's
plan.
actually very impressive.
It's a good plan.
It's a tough road. There's a lot going on whenever there's rain or wind or ice. Stuff starts falling down. So you're not looking at a signature or anything today, are you?
No, I don't think we're there. So,
You're gonna come back and tell us that
yeah,
the
I'll
lights are
work
on.
with Kirby and I'll work with Julie to come back and get ourselves scheduled. Certainly, I know you got town meeting coming up, so probably into late March before we come back in, but we certainly need to see the ground. So,
Thank you.
great, thank you so much.
Thanks for your time and the information.
And stay safe, drive slow.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thanks again.
Thanks. Have a nice
Good night. Going to our next item, which is the general fund budget. This is the final one, hopefully. Julie, you want to take us through this guy here? You have something you'd like to
I
share
will.
with us
I want
first?
to, yep, something I want to share first, and then we can absolutely go through the budget. I just want to kind of put on the record and give some clarity around the deficit discussion that we've been having. And I want people to understand how we came to this conversation. Just to get that on the record again. So when we ended 2024 and we're finalizing the 2025 budget, our numbers were not reflecting a deficit. Our internal numbers were not reflecting that. The audit was completed in June. And with June of this year, the 24 audit was completed in June of
Just this year.
25, correct. I was told at that time that it was a clear audit and was not alerted to the fact that there was a deficit by the auditor. At that time, I did not take the time, because I didn't have the time, to sit down and review the audit. There was nothing on my mind that was telling me that there was something I needed to look for. So I didn't review the audit. I assumed that if there was a large deficit, I would have been told that. So that is my mistake. That's my error. I was alerted to the deficit in mid-October. I was gathering audit information for the bond bank as we were dealing with the sewer loads. And when I was reviewing that is when I noticed general fund deficit for 2024. However, I also noticed discrepancy, double entries, and it's several things between general fund, water, sewer, and capital. There were double entries of things. There were things that didn't look right. I reached out to the auditors at that point. They looked at it. Ron agreed. He said, there's something there that's not right. We had another discussion, and it was agreed that because they would be starting the 25 audit in February, that at that time they would deal with the 24 corrections and 25 at the same time. I agreed that I think that was fine, because there's going to be a connection there. So we have this 25 audit scheduled for the end of February. So I apologize for not bringing this to the board in October. There's nothing malicious. There's nothing sneaky. I'm not hiding anything. There's nothing to hide. We don't even know what caused the deficit, so I'm not hiding anything. And I just simply don't have answers. I don't have answers. The auditors have to give us the answers. I'm not an auditor. And by our numbers, we were not. So I think it's in those entries. Just for clarity for the board, my practice, the way I have always operated, it's my legal background, is when there are issues, you don't really bring them forward until you have the facts around the issue. And so that's the only way to make good, sound decisions, is to have all of the information. I didn't have all of the information, which is why I didn't bring it. I assumed that I would get the information and then we would have this discussion once that 25 audit was done. If the board wants me to change that practice going forward, you can certainly talk about that as a board, and we can talk about that going forward. But again, that's the way I have always done things. It gets very messy when you put half facts and half truths out in a public discussion. Does not, in my experience, does not usually end well. So again, you know, going forward, we need to have a discussion about what you want when you want it. Part of my job is to gather this stuff for you and present it to you. So we can have future conversations about that. But again, that is the history of the deficit and why I didn't bring it to you.
Thank you for that. It sounds like from what you've just said, though, that you do not yet have answers to it.
do
So
not have
even though you've now brought it to us,
Yeah.
we are all still waiting for the information behind.
Correct. I can't even tell you what caused the 24 deficit. By our numbers, we didn't have one. So it came about in the audit itself. So I just don't have facts for you until we've completed the 25 audit, and that's
I mean,
Except the difference is this year, you knew we were going to have a deficit.
this year I knew it because in our own reports we're seeing it.
In your own reports, it's coming up as opposed to the other one. Does that also, I know we're going to get into this in a general sense. At some point we had a conversation and there was $70,000 allocated to go towards contingency or expectation of unknown deficit and things like that. Is that still represented in the version you just sent us?
No. So to go through the version that I sent you. So this version, I can explain to you the changes.
just one second, Bill, you got a quick question on the, what you just said?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I have read the audit myself. I'm not a,
This is the 2024.
correct. I'm not a CPA. I have several years of accounting. I don't have the availability of cost accounting, which is quite difficult, and I didn't advance myself in that particular field. The audit, as I read it, as a layman and some educational knowledge in accounting, is extremely difficult to read and extremely difficult on what the auditors are saying. With that in mind, I want to comment on corrective action that appears to be being taken, because apparently we're advertising for some help in the financial decisions of the town to be made. I think that's an excellent corrective action. I say that because as I read the job position, I want to add something as a citizen to that job description. And that is when this person, whomever it is, with their abilities as listed to fill this job, should report to the selectmen at selectmen's meetings, so you have the opportunity to ask questions that you might not understand yourself. Some people are carpenters, some people are CPAs, some people are plumbers. But to understand the accounting within the town, some of the accounting for towns is entirely different than it is for business. And there are some items there that I have spoken with Julie, and I'm not sure if this is possible, but it was kind of hinted if you run a business and you have a depreciation factor in your business, there's a reason for that. Depreciation is a charge in your balance sheets. And as an expense, if you make a profit, you can reduce it. Well, government accounting is different. But I'm not sure that you couldn't set up a depreciation account in your budget to have a figure that you funded through your taxes so that you could use that to down payment for a cruiser, down payment for a piece of equipment. I don't know if that's acceptable accounting standards under the Gatsby rules of accounting. So I have presented that to Julie, and I see this as a charge in your P&L that really would give you a better handle on the balance in your P&L account and your expenses. I'm not sure it's possible, but I'd like to see that being investigated. But I think this, I don't want to call this a corrective action. I'd like to call it a helping hand, that if this person comes to the board when you discuss finances and you have a question, let them explain and give you a handle on so you can make a different decision. So I'd like to compliment this. I think this is yes, I realize it costs money, but you know what? It costs money when you don't have the money either. So I think it's a good thing to do, to keep the finances in line and understood so that in the next future years, we're not looking at a deficit. Because one way or the other, you're going to raise the taxes based on that deficit. You really don't have a choice, and it is required by state statute. Well,
Yeah, we have to decide what direction,
Right.
how to solve that problem with the
That's a
deficit,
board decision.
that or the other thing.
I'm just bringing my county experience along with running several businesses, the importance of depreciation. Was more important for me than it would be for the town. But in this case, you could probably work it in favor of the town because it would be a charge in your budget under depreciation. So it's just something to consider. As I say, I'm not an accountant, but
Sounds like a great interview question for the candidates.
It could be, we need to find out the answer first. I'm not sure that depreciation can be carried in the municipal budget, but
Right.
as we talked, we will find out the
Well,
answers to those questions.
I say
It's a
that
good thing
after
to
reading the
explore.
audit report, because in the audit
They
report,
depreciate, yes.
he makes some reference to
Yeah.
depreciation.
Yes,
So
he
I'm saying to myself, wait a minute,
Yeah.
you can, but you can't. How would it affect Chester's budget? And go from there.
Right. It's in the audit. What I don't know is if you can carry it in the municipal budget.
Right.
I asked some of my counterparts and they don't do that. But they're not sure why they don't do that.
Right.
So it may be the same thing,
And
you
that was
know.
my question too.
We'll ask the
It's always
question.
been, well, it serves no purpose in government account. Well, it could serve a purpose.
Yeah.
And you would have a little cash on hand.
Yeah.
So to
Well,
speak.
it's a learning experience for us,
Yeah.
especially when you look at the budgets and their numbers are different than ours. They're the professional with the auditors and everything, and we'll see where it stands. I would hope at the end of it all that we'll have some answers.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to, go in a better direction in the future, but.
I think it is important to have that person, whomever, attend the select meeting, go through the balance sheet with you, go through the P&L. They notice something different.
It's like a little mini audit every 3 months to get you right.
Exactly.
That is the plan, Bill.
Yeah.
That's not the job description. That's just the ad. There's an actual 3-page job
Right.
description that we're working on. And
Yeah.
one of those things is the finance person, coming to the board. A lot of municipalities that have true finance directors, they do. They come to the select board meetings, they report. They work with the town manager, but they come and report directly, and answer questions directly. And so that is something that we have into the job
I
description.
just know that would be a step to be able to answer questions the board members might have. And,
Yeah.
Set up a reserve account.
We set up a reserve.
That's gonna
But then
help.
we got rid of it.
No, we didn't get rid of the reserve fund.
Oh, right, the fund
Well,
is there.
it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
At
we got
least
the
it's
fund, we
there,
got the
but-
fund, it's good.
So you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the changes from the last time. First of all, you will see that ambulance revenue, December ambulance revenue is dropped in. So that puts the total combined ambulance revenue at 517,591. It's about 126,000. Revenue got posted, which is great. So that's on the revenues. I can, my copy is not in color. Thank you.
No, it's not a color. I don't see no colors.
Okay.
Mine's in color, but it's got a back printer.
So you will see, I'm going down through to see if I can remember. There's a few lines that we dropped a little bit. We felt that we could, sorry, I did not bring this. I can see my
Are you looking for
highlights.
your highlights?
I'm looking for my highlights.
So, page 5,
Fire department.
fire department equipment.
So fire department equipment. So at a fire that we responded to a few days ago. Yep, thank you. And we responded to a few days ago. We, had an issue with the pump. We've got about $18,000 worth of repairs that now have to be made to engine 1.
The new one?
No, that's the old. Engine
Oh,
1's the old.
it scared me. there for a
Yeah, no,
second.
that would be warranty. So, we have gone to, Chief went to Yosemite Engine Company to find out if they would help us with that expense. Yosemite said that their mission is not to make repairs of equipment, but what they are willing to do is to fund equipment purchases that are needed throughout the year, which would then free up money within the budget to do the engine repairs. So I put equipment is back to 13,000 and equipment is, I reduced by 10,000. Equipment went to 28,000. And Scott felt that we would be able to make everything fit within that amount. He was very comfortable with that. So 10,000 was reduced there.
Anticipating a part that 10,000 could be made up by gifts from.
Correct. Correct.
Friends of Yosemite.
Correct. Kirby was comfortable, lowering gravel to 40. So there was a slight lowering in the gravel line.
Is that because of the stockpiles that we have?
Exactly. He's just, yeah. In mud, whatever we have for mud season, that line could get blown, who
Yeah.
knows, but he felt
But-
comfortable going
yeah.
to 40.
But the stuff's there.
Yeah, exactly. The cleaning service was lowered, another 1,000 after I did the math and the calculation. The cleaning, we had, service doing the cleaning for us. Now that the office is closed on Fridays, I do have a staff member who we budget her for 40 hours. She would like to get for 40 hours, and so she is taking on the cleaning. So cleaning of town hall is being done internally. This $2,000 that we kept in there is for the cleaning of the main hall upstairs once a month and windows twice. So that's a professional service we have to bring. We were able to lower some money there. Chester events, I lowered again. I reduced, per your request, I reduced the contribution to the fall festival, and I reduced the contribution to National Night Out. because that was a new ad. So
I was
we,
gonna say, that
we-
had just
that was a
gone
new
out.
ad. We reduced that and we reduced the amount of winter carnival as well. So that was able to drop that down from 8,000 down to 4. Facility repair, you had asked me to remove the fencing. For facility repair, the new split rail fencing. Yep, so that has been pulled out. Back to revitalization, historic facility maintenance. I took from, Peter had asked for that to be reduced. I took it from 25 to 10. I did not wipe it out completely because there are some things we have to do. But like the painting of the cupola at the Academy building has been pulled out. That was 15,000. Any work to Yosemite Firehouse has been pulled out. And what is also in this line is a little bit of work that does need to be done to the Hearst House. There is some rotting taking place. And so this is the group. Chester Townscape is paying 5,000 of it, and this budget has 4,000 to match that for some work that has to be done on that building. So that is within that line, and then just a little bit of a buffer in case something comes up. And then I did remove, knowing that we were going to be having a discussion about deficit, and we would be having that discussion a little bit later in the year. I did just remove a contribution from the reserve fund, thinking you're going to clear your deficit, you're going to get yourself to 0. That contribution could start in the 2027 year. You can certainly change that if you want to, up to you. That was my rationale behind that decision. With those changes, the budget is at 6%, which is about the average of municipalities in our area, are at 6%. They have local options tax, so they're buying down their rate. We don't have that option, but those are the changes I had. Our recommendation.
So we're not making any contribution to pay down debt.
In this budget,
In
we
this
have not
budget.
included contributions paid on the deficit. The auditors go through everything to tell us how we.
My rationale, Peter, was just simply you're going to be borrowing to do that. So you could choose to raise some of it now,
Right.
or just wait and raise it all at once when we actually know what the deficit is. That's a decision the board needs to make. But that was my recommendation.
If you raise some of it now, we're not paying any interest on it. And the thing is,
That's up to you.
is from the looks of where it could be. No, I think we'll be paying this deficit off long after we're off the board.
So the basic question is can we look at the budget and then revisit this question? How do we feel about the rest of the budget before we ask this question?
Yeah, I'm okay with the budget the way it stands in that one question, Peter. We could definitely look
Because
back
that's
at
what's
it
gonna
and see if
jump
we
the
wanna
rate.
raise it another percentage point or a penny or whatever it comes out to, and how much, where do you put that though? Would that go into the reserve fund?
Yeah.
You would just budget it
I
as a
think
reserve.
Into the
that's
reserve
what we're
fund,
talking about. Is
basically.
only, are we gonna, my favorite
Yeah.
word, seed the reserve fund, so that once we do find out what it is.
We've got some
we've
already.
Got some interest-free money coming out of the original budget. Where's that?
40,000 raises a penny, roughly.
Right. Or we look at percentage. If it's currently at 6%, what is the value?
40,000 would make it about 7%. The math just seems to work that way. And this is pulled up on my computer, so I can go make any adjustments if we want to play.
I don't want to go into this for an hour. Are there things here that you think are too thin? So I'm putting you on the spot and saying, we've cut and we've cut. Are there things that you're scared, that you don't feel like are?
No, I have reviewed this with the department heads. I have asked them to review. I have asked them to look at things. Do you think we're going to go over? I've asked them to come back to me with, are there any areas that you can thin? We do not want to end 26 in a deficit.
Right.
Forget the unforeseens, just if everything were to flow perfectly, is this budget good? Everybody is comfortable with the adjustments that have been made.
Because it's the confidence that has got us into the deficits.
So what was that?
the confidence in
Well-
previous years.
Yep.
We're not even sure though, because it's some of
Yeah,
them might
it
not
could be
even be right.
accounting, but
Yeah,
still, looking
no.
ahead, we can't wait again to find out
No.
it's accounting problem.
No,
So, we're good with everything in here, and the only question we have
Is do you want
is,
to
do we
fund
go, do we fund the
Reserve.
reserve
at this point or not?
adding to the overall general budget, general
Yeah.
fund?
One
Tim,
penny,
do you have
1%?
anything to add?
Sorry. No, I'm kind of mulling this myself, and I think I follow Julie's logic that we're gonna have to get back even once we understand what the number is for 26, and if there's a number for 25, and if there's a number for 24, we're just gonna have to make that happen. So I guess what I'm going back and forth with now, does it make sense to, and I'll use your word too, because I like it, seed and hedge a little bit on that now and go ahead and put some money in a reserve that maybe we could use sooner than later and keep it in there going forward. So is that a penny, or is it, I mean, it's 70,000 is what was in there originally, right, Julie?
Yeah, I threw in 70 and just as a number.
Right. So if we,
70,000 would put it at about 7.5%. The
Yeah.
budget, 7.5%.
that's a pretty big jump, but if we did 40,000, it would be 7%.
It would be just about a little over 7%.
And I mean, nobody likes to see it go up more than the average around us, but at the same time, you know, are we being more fiscally responsible for the long term by doing that? I guess that's the question.
Yes.
Yes, no question.
Well, and you have to remember, municipalities around us have local options tax. They're buying down their increase. So their increase is up, but they have reserves from local options tax that they use to buy down their budget.
Right.
We don't have that option. Without that, they're all up to.
Well, and state is that, what did Scott just put forward? 13%, 9%? I can't remember whether it was 8.9 or,
The education budget is around 12 they're looking at, but they're gonna buy back about 1 point something million, and it's gonna be about 6%.
for the education.
That's what they're looking at, and then even that's not set in stone, but
And I thought this,
they're buying back half of it.
okay,
And the state, it was just the other day, and I don't
I think it was
remember what the state
8.9.
was, the increase.
I think it was 8.9 or 9.8.
Was it that high?
I thought so.
The state budget.
State budget increase.
But you're going into some of the other funds.
Yeah, they're doing that
Okay.
quite a bit.
We don't need to talk about the state.
Yeah.
Just trying to get a sense of how 7 feels as opposed to 6. I think that the work that's put into getting this here, thank you, and thank your department heads. This feels like an incredibly thoughtful approach to it. I think we need to get in the habit of having a contingency, and we're calling that the reserve fund. So I advocate for 40, whatever the number is that gets us to a 7% or 7.1% increase. I advocate for 40 to 50 grand going into a reserve fund so that we get in the habit, so that it is expected in the budget and it.
I mean, we did set it up for that purpose.
Right.
I mean, that was supposed to be the steps that we're gonna take.
Right.
Set up the fund, get it ready, and then next year start putting into it. And I know it's always gonna be hard to put into it.
It's-
Because it's money that's not allocated for something specific.
Yeah.
It's like a savings account, but it's good to have a savings
Well,
account.
it's paying your credit card bill.
You should have it when something
Yeah,
gets
like this
blown
happens.
during the year.
I'd be okay with the 1%, 1 penny, 40,000, whatever that is. It comes out to about the same anyways, to make it 7%.
Tim, what do you think of 40K?
I'm there. I'm with all of you.
Yeah.
It's a smart move. I think it's the prudent way to go. It could potentially save us some interest if we get in a bind again next year. And if not, it carries forward, right?
For me,
Yeah.
it's a habit. It's
Yeah, it's a place,
account that
it
needs
is a
to sit
budget
there
in
and
it.
people need to expect to put money in it.
And it might be a little easier for people to swallow this year because the education budget is being brought down, and it's a one-time deal. This money is coming from, I don't know where, but it's not gonna be next year, and they have to figure something out before next year. Otherwise, they're gonna spike the education budget again, and they're struggling because the system is not working, the way they taxes doesn't seem like it's working. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, but I'm
Sorry, I didn't
okay.
mean to cut you off.
Sorry. I talked to.
Well, and I
Getting
think,
comfortable
It's
here.
not a problem, it's not a problem that relates to
It's fine.
where we are.
well, and I think the other thing that I will add to this too is, I mean, this is your budget for 26. But as I've said it, and I already have it slated into the calendar, and department heads and I are already beginning the thought process about taking 2026 and having it be a real year of education. And evaluation, and looking at services, looking at all the services the town provides for the purpose of, this is what your tax dollars pay for, because I think from conversations that I have with people, it is surprising to me that people do not understand what their taxes are paying for. They don't understand the services that we have and that those services cost money. But it's also just an evaluation to say, are these the services that we still want, and are we willing to pay for them? Or are there things that we can be doing more efficiently? And the key will be getting the public involved and engaged in that process. This is a process I think we need to go through. Hopefully we will have a good finance director with us at that time that can help with this process too. But department heads are already starting to think about, what do I do? What do those tax dollars
Do you have a
pay for?
search committee for the finance person?
We have a what?
Search committee?
We will use internal staff, and one of our auditors sits on that, and often our attorney.
That ad has been out there.
That ad went out about a week ago. A little over a week ago.
Any response?
No, not yet. Not yet. And we put it out with Vermont Governor Finance. We put it out with New England Government Finance. So we have it out to several agencies as well as BOCT.
Put it in Texas, that's where all the librarians want.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And we have offered in this that, the finance person can have partial remote. It doesn't have to be somebody that's in the office 5 days a week. They need to be in at least 1 or 2 days, but it doesn't have to be a 5-day a week. What I care about is that we have somebody that is at the next level of finance. And if we can't find that, my backup plan is that we will have another full-time advanced bookkeeper, and then, which will not be at the highest salary, obviously it'll be a lesser salary, but then there are a couple of town managers who either have recently retired or are getting ready to, whose entire background is finance. That's what they're they have masters in finance, that's what they do, who have said, oh, I'd come work with you for 15 or 20 hours a week, and you want to pay me, and so I'm like, that might not be a bad idea.
Right.
So we have some options. That would be option B if we can't find exactly what we're looking for. I have something very specific that I want. And we're gonna just see if we can find that.
I want to echo what Mr. Lindsay said. The pursuit of this position is the most robust response to 2 years of deficit.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Trying to go into business development, trying to go into housing development. We're entering a greater financial intricacy for a municipality of our size than we've seen before.
Yeah, exactly.
And we
Exactly.
provide way more services in municipalities our size also.
Way more
Which,
so.
which gives the layers of all this extra financing and everything that we have.
And at the end of the day, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't have time to analyze numbers.
Yep. And that's
The
why
way that a lot of, and in talking to my counterparts, it's like, we don't either. We have like 3 or 4 finance people, and they're our size. So they have robust finance teams. That's where we are. We need to put the money at it, and it's not my skill set.
we're building the plane while we're flying it, because we're trying to figure out the budget, get the budget in line, and fund a new
No,
position.
we got spoiled by a past person who just said, oh, hi. And she just did it.
All right.
She just did it. You asked her a question and she said, oh, it's here.
Judy,
So-
you're gonna roll up the number now?
Yeah, let's
We're
do
gonna
it.
vote
If
on
Want me
it.
to go do it right now?
Yeah.
And give you exactly what the number is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to vote on it. We have to
Do we call this a bio
Yeah.
break, Chairman?
take 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Go to recess. Thank you.
Take 5, recess. Recess.
No, no.
Hey, now? Why is that?
Yes. I don't see any.
There you go.
Back in session. Julie has added the 40,000 to the budget, and that 40,000 will go to our reserve fund. So the number that we would need to raise for taxes would be $4,461,054.94. So I would entertain a motion.
4 million, because I haven't got it. So 4 million.
$4,461,054.94.
Oh,
That's messy, but.
that's right. Oh, better than I have. I put it in here, so I have it there.
And that's going to be going on Article 6. to see if the town will vote to raise $4,461,054.94 to be paid to the Chester Town Treasurer on September 15th to pay current expenses. Any part of the town's in.
So moved.
Second.
Ariana's the motion and Peter's the second. Any further discussion on this? I guess we'll be having discussions right along for this coming year on our budgets, spending, and just a general good overview of everything that's going on as far as our finances go. And we'll have a little more information with the audit after all that too, to see where we stand exactly, to see what's happening with that. Any other discussion on this? All those in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Nope. So we have a budget for this year, 2026, and it comes to about a 7.12% increase. This might be the first year. If what holds true with the education budget, they'll both be very close.
Yeah.
So
No,
1/3 of the
because
budget.
those bastards are gonna go with the CL.
And the CLA is gonna
The
affect our
CLA
local.
is
Well,
gonna kill
Oh.
us.
That,
For the education tax.
that's already
education.
figured with that. It was figured with that, the education one. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
tried to make sense of it myself. I've been watching a few of the meetings and the information meetings that they had and stuff. And it's not an easy thing to wrap your head around. It's that CLA that does a lot of it. And
Well, what you
so-
have, I would say this, I really appreciate, I think having the superintendent come in here and do the school budget,
That was
that
awesome.
was really, that was the most education
Yeah.
that I've had from the the usual school budget shuffle game. That was not it.
Yeah, that was a good education for me, for sure, and I think
Right.
for
Yeah.
everyone who
I
was
was
there.
wondering if a shorter version of that should happen at a future time.
They had another one, last time,
They've been doing that all
Oh,
over.
they
have?
They've been doing that all over.
all over the towns. This
It's
one, the
really
last one
helpful.
was in
Yes.
Cal.
They're doing that.
All right, so we'll head on to our next agenda
Oh,
item
we did vote.
Here we go.
to check our town warning. Everybody has a copy?
On, Article 2.
Yep.
Okay, so we go through the purpose, the available federal funds to be used and the purpose of constructing of upgraded sidewalks, I would say, of existing. We're not trying to build new sidewalks, we're trying to fill the existing sidewalks.
No, isn't this,
That's an upgrade.
Financing the sidewalk upgrades. Would you like to say construction of upgrades to existing sidewalks? Is
Yeah,
that?
there you go. Just as long as we keep with existing, we're not building new, that we're trying to fix the stuff.
construction of,
That one almost is a new one though. That sidewalk's just
Yeah, but that's-
non-existent.
It's a
uh,
the one with the
replacement.
bond,
financing the
with
construction,
the,
the upgrades of sidewalk construction. We're gonna change
Purpose of
the,
financing the construction of upgrades to
the
existing. sidewalks.
upgrades, financing the construction of upgrades to existing sidewalks.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's just moving it over.
Just adding upgrades to.
Upgrades to existing sidewalks. That's what we're gonna say.
Article 3. Everybody okay with that one? Article 4. Article 5. If I go too quick, stop me if you want to look at something. But I think we've been through these quite a bit. Article 6 is the one we just voted on.
Yep, I'll plug that number in.
Number 7 is the 1% local option
Absolutely.
tax.
Yep, 10-year sunset.
We worked on that for quite a while. We got that down. Article 8.
Those ones you have no impact over because those are all budget.
8, 9, 10.
All
All the way through, basically, right?
All the rest of those are.
So,
Oh,
Yes, Mr. Lindsay.
Just a question on Article 7. Why is that not been done by Australian ballot?
because it's a special question, and all of our special questions are by floor vote, not Australian ballot. So to make that question, Australian ballot, because I looked it up, to make that question, Australian ballot,
Right.
you have to vote this year
To do
to do it, and then next year to vote it.
Okay.
And that's true of anything, to turn
Correct.
anything from floor vote to Australian ballot takes an extra year, because you have to make that decision to do it, and then you do it the next time.
Is there a reason to, there won't be ongoing articles about this option tax until the 11th year, right? It doesn't appear on the.
No,
warrant.
no,
It's only now and that's the next 10 years.
correct. Unless the select board chooses, or there's a petition to put it on.
So the family center didn't get in,
They did, they're the very last one.
very last
They
one.
submitted a petition as Article 20. Yeah.
Didn't see them on the list, did I?
Yep,
Thank you.
it's Article 20, Tim.
I didn't see them on the budget sheet. That's where I saw it missing.
Yeah,
They
they
came
made
in
it.
late.
Oh,
They got their signatures.
he means on the budget sheet. Yes, Tim, but that doesn't go into the dollars we
Right,
raised.
right. I know.
The
I
budget
just,
though, yeah.
I
But
just,
yeah, good,
I'm
good
missing.
catch.
I thought, oh no, but I see it here. Good.
Yeah, it's here, yeah.
Any other questions or concerns at the, on the town warning? Vote to
I
accept
can
it
do
as
a couple of things. Do you want me to go make the changes real quick and then you sign it, or the signature page is the third page?
You sign it.
Do you want me to make the changes after? It's up to you.
No, let's fix it, let's be done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, you're all gonna come in Friday.
Well, no, you can sign page
It's just on the
3.
signature
All the
page.
changes are on page 1. So you can either give me 5 minutes or you can sign it and I'll make this change. Whatever
would
you
you
like.
like?
Doesn't matter to me.
Then what's your sign?
How about we just,
Yeah.
I have your 2 changes.
Do we have to vote that we're signing?
You should, yeah. Yeah, Arnie's.
entertain a motion that we accept the town of Chester warning for our Monday, March 2nd, 2026 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Ariana's the motion, Peter's the second. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor of accepting the town warning for our March 2nd, 2026 meeting, you say aye.
Aye.
I
Any Opposed? All good.
come by Friday and sign.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
That's me.
All good. New business, future agenda items.
Is this the moment where I can officially say we have an executive session on tonight's agenda? I propose not having that executive session this evening, moving it to a later time via Zoom. That time to be determined, but within the next 6 business days.
And that probably I should have asked for that right at the beginning.
Right.
Before we did anything changes to the agenda. But I agree, we could just skip the executive session. We'll have
Do we need to vote on taking something off the agenda, or do we need to do anything else official?
Nah.
Great. So once I can connect with Lee and find out what his availability is.
Yeah.
Julie, can I coordinate a meeting with the 5 guys all in one email chain, or is
You
that?
can, you just need to let me know when it is so I can warn it.
But it's not, I'm not doing open
No, you
meetings.
just
law.
Establishing a meeting only, you can communicate
That's
by
what I
it.
thought.
Yeah.
disseminating information.
Great. So I'll figure it out, Tim, and I'll let you know what we're looking at for a Zoom.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for future business or agenda items? I know well, you got a few things coming up. You got the class 4 road coming up. Anything else?
No, your bond resolutions you'll sign the next meeting. For the next couple meetings, it's just that litigious, all the paperwork you
Yeah.
gotta sign for the year, you know, class.
Any policies that we need to look at besides?
You will be looking at policies. You'll be looking at policies coming in March. Yay! Use of town property policy. will
Oh,
be
that's
coming
right. That was the
first.
one that would people ask and then I forget.
Yep, we just wanted to get through the budget.
Yep.
So that I think I have slated for your second meeting in February. I'm
Well,
hoping
the
I'll have a
town
draft.
policy one.
Correct, a draft policy.
Okay.
That I would imagine will be several
February.
meetings of discussion. The other one that will be coming to you soon is public records request policy. So that we can start controlling, which will help control our legal lines with these public records.
Yeah, the
requests.
expense associated with it.
Great.
Anybody else? Anything else? All right. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the special select board meeting at 7:55 PM.
Second.
Ben's the second. Ariana's the motion. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All good.